Isois, et vies peces, nitrum meni, et faratum asticosimo.
Good morning. My name is Despines Nectaria Katsilis, and I teach Nipia at the Greek Orthodox Parish and Community of the Holy Cross in Wollongong. Today, we are going to learn about a special young girl named Esther who loved God and all people with all of her heart. A long, long time ago, a very attractive baby girl was born. Most important of all, as she grew up, she became more and more beautiful inside her soul. She loved and respected her parents and everyone else around her. Unfortunately, when she was young, her parents died and left her an orphan. The only relative she had was an uncle who was married but did not have any children. The uncle's name was Mordecai. Mordecai was a good man and loved God. He took little Hadassah in and raised her and loved her as if she was his own child. He changed her name to Esther, which means star. Esther grew up to resemble a small, bright star. Her uncle Mordecai taught her about God's love and how he always watches over us, takes care of us, and protects us. He taught her to pray and to ask God for whatever she needed. He also taught her about the faith that she must have in God. In this way, Esther grew up and loved God very much. As she grew up, she became very beautiful in appearance, but also very beautiful in character. At that time, the king of the country, Xerxes, was looking for a beautiful and good girl to marry. He invited all the young girls in his kingdom to come to the palace so he could choose one to become his wife. Esther's uncle Mordecai, who was working for the king, sent Esther along with the other girls to the palace. The king, who was not a Jew and did not believe in the true God as did Esther and her uncle. Mordecai knew how good Esther was, and if the king chose her for his wife, she would be able to help Xerxes believe in the one true God, which would be for the good of all the people. When all the young ladies had gathered, Esther was the most beautiful, and the king chose her and made her queen. Esther, with her love and kindness, managed within a short period of time to be loved by everybody, and especially by the king. Inside the palace lived and worked a man called Haman. He did not love God and was trying to find a way to make the king pass a law to kill all the Jews. In other words, those who believed in the one true God. He was a very bad person who had no love at all for anyone. He talked to the king and convinced him to make this law. However, Haman did not know that God who loves his people and sees everything will always look after them. Esther found out what Haman was asking from the king. Even though she was a queen, she never forgot God and always prayed. She asked God to help Xerxes not to agree to the terrible thing that Haman would ask of him. After many hours of prayer, She went to speak with much love to the king and explained that he would have to kill her as well if he was to pass such a law. The king, who loved her, listened to her request and punished Haman. This act made her much loved by the people, and many started to believe in the God of Esther. Therefore, children, we should always pray to God and trust Him just as Esther did every day of her life. Because when we do this, God will always guide and protect us. Through the story of Esther, we can learn that God has a plan for each and every one of us. God had a plan for Esther to become the queen, and this helped a lot of people to come to know and believe in God. Esther's strong faith in God is an example for us that we too should be brave and know that God is always helping us. Esther's love for others shows true kindness and loyalty, just how we as Christians should be an example to all the people around us. Thank you for listening to another Sunday school lesson.